First of all, a leading conservative member of parliament in Britain is the individual asking what discussions the British government has had with the U.S. administration on the creation of the list of foreign nationals barred from entry into the UK, with particular reference to the inclusion of Michael Savage in that list. So the Conservative Party is my hope here. I have given up hoping that Gordon Brown would ever do anything that is correct and for democracy. Gordon Brown is a lifetime left-wing radical who will only do evil. He has wrecked the economy of England. He has stolen the freedom of the British people. And so, therefore, I have no hopes that he will do the right thing and avoid this lawsuit, and I'm going to go ahead and have to drop this lawsuit. And I have to tell you right now, I've been told that it could cost me approximately $1 million to do this. I mean, I haven't given you numbers until now. And England is different than the United States in lawsuits that I learned. I kind of much knew it. First of all, their libel laws are different, and it's much easier to prove libel in England than here. That's the good news for me, because she did libel me by saying I engaged in criminal acts, which I didn't. Okay, that's number one. And the other news is this, and here's the somewhat bad news. If you bring a lawsuit in England and you lose, you pay all of the other guys' fees, the other side's fees. Unlike in America, which is run by criminal gangsters, the legal profession is run by criminal gangsters, where they encourage lawsuits, clogging the courts, destroying the law itself. In England, if you lose, you pay the other side. I'm not going to lose this one. I'm going to win it, because my lawsuit is very narrowly defined with regard to her statement that I committed criminal acts. I certainly have not committed criminal acts. She may not like what I said, even though what I said was not what she thinks I said, because my show was never broadcast in England. So therefore, I will file this lawsuit. Now I'm going to do it. I was trying to use the diplomacy, but I could see now that this group of scoundrels in the Gordon Brown administration are so deeply enmeshed in the Obama administration that I have no chance of getting any fairness from them. Therefore, I will seek a jury trial in England. That's all there is to it. And then when my biography comes out, or my book comes out, I'm going to have two things coming out next year, God willing. One is a book called Banned in Britain, which I hope to have out around Labor Day. This will be in the book. This story is going in that book. And then there's the biography being written by Professor Ellis Washington that will be out in, I don't know, a year. We don't know. It's a long, big project. So there's a lot going on. I usually become very productive in the summers. One thing I will not be doing this summer is jogging in Marcy Park. I will not be flying east to jog in that park. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. British government says we did not consult the United States on Michael Savage exclusion. It's intriguing to me that Newsmax would publish this, and I wonder why they published it right now and why all of a sudden Britain would be saying that they had nothing to do with the Obama administration. What is going on? Why in the world would Gordon Brown say that they didn't discuss it before the exclusion, but they have since discussed it? You know about post-dated checks? Well, let's say you want to pay for something, but you don't have the money in the bank. So let's say today is July 1, you write July 10th on it. I believe these discussions occurred, and they put July 1st on it, or whatever, June 30th on it, but they actually discussed it last year in order to try to bring in the fairness doctrine in advance, going after Michael Savage first, with a little help from his friends.
Savage, the Savage Nation.
Takes up in the show, I spend an hour talking about Goldman Sachs and the manipulation of our currency and our government and our financial system. And now it's like a shock. Article comes out of Newsmax today saying that the British government says we didn't consult the United States on Michael Savage exclusion. So we just emailed Chris Ruddy of Newsmax and asked him, you know, how did this happen? And he said, well, his writer went to Nigel Evans, a leading conservative member of Parliament in Britain, and he addressed the question to the Secretary of State for the Home Department, asking the following: what discussions his department has had with the U.S. administration on the creation of the list of foreign nationals barred from entry to the U.K., with particular reference to the inclusion of Michael Savage on that list. Then the Socialist Labor Party answers, the Home Office did not consult with the U.S. administration about the creation of the list of foreign nationals who are excluded from the UK on unacceptable behavior grounds. Now, this is interesting. Again, they're using the word behavior. Yeah, I could see a guy who smashed in a 4-year-old child's head. I could see Russian skinheads who killed 11 people. I could see Kim Jong-il on the list. I could see Reverend Wright on the list. I could see a lot of Americans on the list who aren't on the list. But I'm only a talk show host. That's not behavior, is it? Is speech behavior now? So now speech is behavior? 1984, Brave New World, speech is now behavior. They're covering their tracks, in my opinion. That means they did it. Because they said, however, following publication of the list, Home Office officials have discussed the government's policy on exclusion with American officials. I believe that they're post-dating or predating. They're post-dating these discussions. That's my opinion. Now, apparently in England, there's a different standard. Under the rules of Parliament, a Parliament member's question must be answered honestly, which means if you catch another member of Parliament lying, whether it be through mail or whatever, they will be indicted. They'll lose their seat. It's much different than America, where if a congressman or senator is not caught lying, they lose their seat. It means that they've lost their edge.